Hey everyone, and welcome to the Phillip Show. Listen, grab your coffee. This is going to be such a great show. I am super excited, as I usually am, but I am very, very, very excited today. You know, sometimes you have friends that can sing, and then sometimes you have those friends that can sing, and sometimes you have those friends that are talented, and then you have friends that are talented. You know, sometimes you have friends that are so endearing and mean so much, and then you have those friends that are endearing and mean so much and continue to just trailblaze and do all these things. So today we are talking to Angela Birchett. Now let me do some bios here, okay? So just bear with me because she's accomplished. So hold on. So Angela made her Broadway debut in 2015, Tony Award-winning revival of The Color Purple, and has several regional and touring credits, including The Color Purple first national tour, Dreamgirls as Effie White, Once on This Island, Smokey Joe's Cafe as BJ, and Hairspray national tour as Motormouth. Her television credits include CBS, Kevin Can Wait, and NBC's Blind Spot. Most recently, she starred in Lifetime's movie event, The Clark Sisters, First Ladies of Gospel as Jackie Clark Chisholm, which reached 11 million viewers in its opening weekend, making it the most viewed premiere on cable television of 2020. But listen, there's more. As a founder of AB Creative, Inc., Angela has also created educational programming and one-on-one development that encourages individuality. We love that here, individuality. Celebrates Black culture through the performing arts and equips students and aspiring artists with a toolkit to best tackle and seize their place in an ever-changing entertainment industry. We can continue to go on, but I'm just going to introduce her. Her name is Angela Birchett, and she's my friend Ange.
Hey!
Let me drink some more coffee after all that, girl.
Listen, I was sitting here smiling from ear to ear like, wow, this is such a great introduction. Thank you.
Absolutely. It is so great to see. You know, you and I haven't seen each other for years. Sometimes there's years and sometimes there's years.
Yes.
You know, and we haven't seen each other in years. How are you?
I am here.
Amen.
I'm here.
Okay.
Good. And I said that as opposed to good first, because through these last few years, we all have had our share of things with this pandemic and, you know, just life. But I have journeyed to being, and am continuing to journey, being present and being in myself, like fully in myself and appreciating myself and being authentic in how I give myself to the world.
Wow.
So,
you know, I love that you just jump out transparent, because, you know, after an intro like that and after the accolades that you have and after all that, it's easy to look at paper and to look at you on television or look at you when you're performing and be like, oh man, you know, she's got it all together. But to hear you say, you know, I'm still on my journey, you know, trying to figure me out. You know, I know that's been a lot of our testimonies, you know, either as of late or as of forever.
yes.
You know, so with you, we're going to get to your accolades and all of that. But I want to start with, you know, with your journey. You haven't always been in the limelight. You haven't always, you know, just been what people perceive. It's been quite the journey. Where did you start when it came to knowing that music was your thing?
Gosh, you know, I think I always knew it as early as I could comprehend what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
But then I did go through a point, maybe all teenagers do, where you know there's something that's really pressing on you or something that is your passion, but you're a kid and you want to explore things and you want to rebel against what is obviously the thing. Yeah. And I went through that for a little while. I guess I've never really even shared that. Like, although, you know, I come from a musical family and we've all sang and our whole lives, and my father and all of that in school. But there was a point where I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to be a cheerleader. I want to play sports, which I didn't do cheerleading thing, but I played sports and stuff just in a effort to go against the grain. But I think it was really just me knowing that music was going to be my life's work, and just making sure, you know.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, along the way, especially once I decided to move to New York and really pursue this thing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's been, it is, and has been such a up and down, and it's the
Yeah.
part of a career like mine that people don't talk about. They show you the parts they want you to see. They talk about the parts that are celebratory. But I was just telling somebody yesterday, I said, man, I've had a great and am having a great career, but I remember those days, early years in New York, where I had 23 cents in my bank account. I couldn't even ride the train because I didn't have enough to swipe my card, but there was something in me that said, I know I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing and the right things. And all I have to do is just stay the course. So my journey has definitely been one of waiting my turn, staying the course, knowing that I have what I need. It just, what I have and the opportunity and the timing all has to meet at the right crossroads.
Yeah.
And that's happened for me, and it will continue to happen for me. So it's been an amazing journey. And I wouldn't trade any of it. I wouldn't trade any of it.
A lot of people see, and by a lot of people, I put myself in the category when just looking out, even doing entertainment and doing all these things. A lot of people can look at the performance package.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can look at the stage, but like you said, sometimes I don't have money to get on the train, but I look good on the stage and I'm singing.
That's right.
That's what you see when you were going through kind of making it, paying your dues and things like that. There's different areas that you actually stepped into. You were on stage singing jazz and blues. You sang at weddings. You did all of these things. Tell us just a little bit about how you are maneuvering through the music industry when it comes to performance, and what all those facets kind of look like as a working artist.
Mm-hmm. I am very grateful that I am so blessed and fortunate to do what I love full time. I do a lot of things, but none of them are like survival jobs or anything. They're all, nothing wrong with those, but I've had my fair share of those. But I've been fortunate in these almost 20 years of pursuing this to finally be at a place where all of my work, all of my energy is either on my own things that are music and art related, or jobs, gigs and all those things. And I still do them. There's no was or had. I've learned the ropes of how to be a multi-pronged artist. And
is that important?
It really is. I think so. Like, there are some people that are of the mindset of, you need to really focus on one thing and really be exceptional at that one thing. And if you're that type of person, then yes. But I like the variety of tapping into the different things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
For so long, and it tickles me sometimes, because people I've worked with for years that in different capacities, mostly singing first, when we work in a predominantly acting job or in the studio, and the reaction of, I didn't know like that you like an actor, like don't get offended, but I didn't know that. And I don't get offended because I love the growth that I've seen in myself as an artist. And it just goes to show that, you can do more than one thing if you want to. And for my personality and just who I am as a person, I like to have my hands in different things. I like to use different parts of my creativity and not just, singing at a wedding, which I love doing, but hosting and, hosting at different types of places and going in the studio and, doing television and the theater and the things. It's fulfilling. I don't know that I would be as fulfilled if I just did like one thing.
So while you're saying that, I'm seeing my mind open up and saying some people pigeonhole it to say you're this type of artist. For you, it sounds like I'm an artist. And as an artist, these are all of the things that come along with it. And I do all of these things. I'm not just that singer. I'm not just that actor. I'm an artist. And I like to embrace all of my artistic expressions and talent.
Including helping other people find their voice. That's a part of that, I'm on the other side of the table, if you will. I'm guiding as opposed to performing. And I love that just the same.
Now, is that part of the AB Creative Inc.?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So by degree, I'm a music educator.
Okay.
We went to the same illustrious Kentucky State University, where I earned a degree in music education and a degree in vocal performance. And that's how I started off. Like I started off teaching, like I wasn't doing any of this. I was teaching music to kids in, the regular school setting. And that sparked my, wow, like I have something to offer these kids. But because my primary love was performing, I kind of put that on the back burner for a while because I was just like, I need to really devote myself to building a career. But we got to the pandemic and there was no building of anything unless you were Zooming, singing songs. And I did all of that. We got real creative and real innovative and real, in front of this computer. But what opened up as a result of that was while everyone had downtime, directors I worked with, other educators I'd worked with, people who follow me on the socials, see me in shows, I would always get asked, do you coach? Like, do you, there's something about the way you perform, and I would love to find my way of doing it. And
yeah, I want that magic too. What you doing?
Yeah, and there is a need here. Not I need to go do something to make money because money comes, money goes. And it opened up a whole nother world for me. And I just kind of jumped right into it. I, took on students. I take on students. I work with, theater departments at colleges, music departments, or just people that follow me that want to build something online to be just for fun, and that is such an important piece to me because so many people have so much locked up inside of them because they just don't know how to give themselves permission to let it out. They don't know how. And I love to watch that light bulb go off. And it helps me too, as an artist, be more freer with myself and take chances and make bigger choices as an actor. All those things come into play because you're seeing it on someone else. So your brain flowing to it, like how, if I were in this situation, or if I were her or him giving this note, how would I take that note? What would I do different, or how would I approach it? So
I think experience has, a lot to do with it. And I love the fact that you were an educator first, and then all of a sudden, all of these experiences come in, and now you're able to share those experiences and the inspiration because people are seeing you and they're inspired to do more and be more. One of the things that, and I'm going to go back to when I was in New York and you were there, you and I we were talking, and we were talking about health, and you had some pretty scary health scares that seemed to almost take away your ability to even be on stage or to limit the capacity which you could. Now to fast forward to today, where you're you're a very big proponent of health. You're always at the gym, you're like, listen, I'm putting these, I don't feel like it, but we're going to go.
That's right.
For that journey, what happened that kind of put your, I guess, career in a position where it's just like, will I be able to do this? And how did you come out the other side so motivated to be so involved in health?
Yeah. I like to use the word fluffy. I don't really care for plus size and overweight and all those things. Fluffy. I've been a fluffy girl my whole life. I was a scrawny kid, and then puberty hit, and that was it. And so my whole life I spent kind of chasing this, if I was just smaller, I would be ... And it's just such a horrible way to look at things, but it's real. And, there are people out here that feel the same way and may never admit it or have anyone to say that to, but it's true. And, but I've always navigated it. My talent spoke for me. So I was, able to, be in arenas where, and in shows and in things where people may not have considered me otherwise because of the aesthetic and all of that. Yeah. But that wasn't so much a driving force for me as was developing health issues that I knew if I didn't get the parts of my health issues that I could control under control, that it was going to cut my ability to have a career short. I knew that. And getting older, I started later in the business. I was in my late 20s when I, started pursuing this for real. And, but I still kind of made it work, and then I don't know, the pandemic just shifted me. It shifted me. I gained weight during the pandemic like everybody else did. And something just clicked one day. It was literally just one of those like cliche, like one day I just woke up and I said, enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you had your moment. You had your...
It really was that. I just woke up and said, enough. Enough. And that was... that official journey started a little over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I just, made some decisions on how I wanted to, change my diet, my relationship with food, making sure that working out wasn't a substitute for good eating or to shift to something else to be addicted to, like make working out part of your mental health, about a part of your overall health. And over the course of a couple of years, I, got the extra weight that was just kind of weighing me down off of me, and found a new joy in feeling strong and working out and really working out my mind.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this, well, a lot of people, of course we see the physical, like if nobody's seen you for a while, they're like, okay, that's just like, okay. But it's a total for you. Is it like a total we're working out the body, but for you mentally and emotionally and just your self view of yourself now, how has that changed through your decision to say enough? It's time.
Everything has changed. I won't say I'm a new person. What I'll say is I'm the girl, the woman, the Angela that always was. But she just was tucked under insecurity, shame, not knowing my worth, not feeling good enough, all that stuff. And I can't speak for everyone, but for me, I won't even say being overweight, not being intentional about my health was my way to distract myself or to ignore the fact that I was hiding in there.
Sure.
So this Angela that is sitting here was always there.
Yep.
She just needed she needed somebody to reach down in the well with a rope and slowly pull her out. And a big component of my overall wellness is mental health. I see a therapist regularly.
Okay.
I, made sure I got evaluated. Do I have any attention issues? Do I have any anxiety things? My trainer that I've been with forever, I just shifted to another one, but the trainer that I was with through this transformation, his biggest component is the mental work. We spend time every workout doing breath work and being like visual about seeing them, like literally the muscles that I have now, I saw them before I ever had them. And it was through routine and repetition of doing something mindfully, not just to burn calories, but we're doing something to be intentional to sculpt our body from the inside out. And it's still a process. I'm still working on why am I still eating Flamin' Hots? Like we're not in high school anymore. We don't eat Flamin' Hots as a meal.
Well,
depends on you. But I say that to say there's no end to this. There is no, I don't do this anymore. It's ever evolving. The types of foods I eat change all the time, all the things. And so I try to stay open. I try to give myself grace and remember where I came from and how, there were days when, my physical ability was so hindered that I was not sure I would be able to do basic things, let alone, have a career. I have an autoimmune disease called multiple sclerosis. Lots of people have them. Lots of Black people have it and, go undiagnosed for years. They don't even realize it. But I'm one of those people, and changing the way that I even handle stress and handle things that are just tough for us in life has changed how my body reacts, to this, unfortunate, thing that we go through, those of us that have it. But I've been in remission for a long time, and
Good.
and have a clean bill of health with that. So I'm just grateful, and I'm so happy that I found a way to tie it all in together. So I'm not just addressing one thing, and then this thing. It's a collaborative, constantly working on all the things all at once.
I love it. It's like total healing.
Yeah.
And and I like the fact that you're saying it's more of and these are my words, just interpreting it, it's more of a lifestyle switch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people error things on the side of either diet, or it's very immediate and it has parameters. And the way that you're doing is like, it's a growth process, and in that growth process we're shifting our mentality, we're shifting how we view things, even ourselves, how we relate to food, how we relate to people, how we relate to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's a continued process. And I love the fact that it's just kind of like, and you're fine with being on, it's a process, and I'm gonna be on this process, it's like, that's what we do.
Yep. Because you're on some type of process until the day you leave here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's never an end until you, we go on.
And I think that's where sometimes we get messed up. I think that's where, because then all of a sudden we get disappointed when the finish line, or the self-imposed finish line, moves.
Yeah.
So if we make it finite and say, well, by this time this is going to happen, and then all of a sudden we'll feel like a failure, all of a sudden we can't, it's just like, we'll just forget it, we'll just throw it out. But if it's a constant, there'll be ebbs and flows. The COVIDs are going to come, and be like, okay, now I got to sit in the house, what am I going to do?
Right.
So well, I am super excited that you are excited, and that it's a whole, you're the same age, but you're a different age.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I want to know, and let me shift gears real quick. Let's go back to one of the biggest television events of let me just throw it out there, of church Black people's lives.
Listen, it was what we needed.
It's what we needed. And then there she was on the screen. What was it like for you to grow up in church and to sing gospel and to go through everything that you went through, the striving, the no train fare, the no all this, and all of a sudden you get the call that you booked the Clark sisters?
Yeah. Whew. Well, I had just come off of a tour with Color Purple, as you said in your beautiful introduction. I was so blessed to be a part of the Broadway company and then the touring company. And toward the midway, I would say, of that was when I started to hear rustlings of this project. If you've been a bit in the business as long as I have, you know a few folks. So and when people know you're right for something, they want, I've been fortunate. I can't speak for everybody, to have people that root for me. So, rumbling started about it, and I don't know, something in me was just like, I'm doing this. And that felt, even saying it now, having done it, is, it's been years ago now, but that's a daunting thing to say, because like what you said, we get no's so much. And we get no's on things that we are right for. We get no's for things that, we feel like we were a shoo-in, we had great auditions, or we knew the director, or whatever, and it still is a no. So it was very bold of me in that moment to even say that, but that's how I felt it. To know that there was a project, and I didn't know nothing about it. Like, I hadn't seen the script or anything. I just knew network that was doing it, and it was going to be a biopic. And my first thought went back to my upbringing. My first school after my father was church when it came to music. That's all I knew. And it was that kind of church. It was, we gonna pull you out the audience, we gonna throw you up here, and you're gonna sing, and you're gonna figure it out, and and growing up in Detroit, in that era, I was born in the 70s, but I'm really, when it comes to like knowing music and stuff, I'm a 90s, late 80s, 90s kid, and that was, you know, the 80s and the 90s were their heyday. So, you know, I grew up in a house where all we listened to when it came to gospel was the Winans and the Clark sisters and Commission, you know, and these people all live in my same city. Can go, you know, so I was so immersed for my entire life until I left for college in this world that when I heard about this project, after that thought of I'm going to do this, my second thought was they have to get this right.
Yeah.
And I put out some ragtag, weird, ghetto, like $5 shake and go wig situation. We have to do this right because these women deserve it. They are iconic. They are legendary, not just to the gospel industry, but to music. Their influence has reached places they probably never thought it would go. So to get that phone call after coming off a tour and not sure what the next job was going to be, you know, and that's something all of us actors go through. You on such a high, especially, you know, that tour was the end of just a run of 5 years of just back-to-back theater, television.
Wow.
Theater.
And this is the Color Purple.
The Color Purple, Dreamgirls, television that started to come, you know, offers to direct offers, which is like the dream for actors to come, you know, you don't audition, they just call you and can't because I'm already booked for something, you know.
Booked and busy.
Listen, and I'm grateful for it.
Yes.
But that call meant everything because not only did it mean, wow, like I'm really starting to see the return on the work that nobody sees. And to feel like this is something that I actually can do. Like I understand this world. I know who these women are. And then to be immersed into the world of doing it. And even now I'm getting goosebumps when I think about, you know, the 3-hour fittings, 2 and 3 days out of the week of just clothes after clothes. But these are literally replicas. And in some cases, actual pieces that these women wore that are, you know, iconic, like record covers. And I couldn't believe it. I said, God, like, wow, I get to be a part of tributing these women for the world. And I'm still so proud of it. I don't get mad at all. Like I get stopped all the time, especially now because there was a chunk of time where no one saw us. The pandemic started right as we started the press run for this. So no one saw us. So it's so cool to even now, you know, 3 years later, I'm in the airport and somebody stops me, or, you know, I'm out partying and somebody in the club is like, Jackie, you know.
You're like, hold on.
But it's pretty cool, you know, that people they feel that connection to it. I'll never forget my good sister, my sweet sister Letticy. She called me. We worked together on another project years before, and she called me the night the film premiered, and we talked for a couple of hours. And to hear the tears in her voice because she felt like she related so much to Jackie's story, it made a big lump in my throat because you just never know the impact that people, your performance or what you give into the world, how it affects people. Jackie called me right after the movie and was just hysterical and said, you made me feel seen. And if you know anything about the Clark sisters and you follow them, you know, like Jackie, and even in the film we saw it, like Jackie is one of those unsung heroes. She's the glue that no one sees. Everybody steps over the glue to get to the, you know, and to hear the woman I'm portraying say that to me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what could be better than that. I don't know what could be better than being a part of a film of these women that I esteem so much, that have so much to do with the way I sing, the way I approach ministry. I mean, just so much. I could go on and on, but it was unbelievable, the response of folks, and even people who don't even know who the Clark sisters are, like Broadway people who never heard of them, like kind of forced to watch it because there was nothing else to watch, and like people in the Broadway industry who I are like amazing, reaching out saying, I saw the Clark sisters and I didn't even know anything about them, but your performance and all of you ladies, like, I'm blown away. And how did I not know who you were? I'm following you now. And I'm like, what? Like, so it into so many levels and places and people that I didn't anticipate. I don't think any of us did. We knew the Church of God in Christ was going to love it. We knew, the gospel people were going to love it, but we didn't know that like people like Jamie Foxx and and like talking to us like I'll never forget when I did an interview with Kim Burrell and she was talking to me like she was fangirling and I was like,
yeah.
But you just don't realize how much of an impact them seeing the story of these women that they love so much or that has influenced their artistry. And I'm talking Grammy winners and
I mean they're it's historic and they're legends. They're just like the legacy that they have is just incredible.
And they were due that. They were due that and they were due for it to be done well.
And I'm glad that they were able to do it now and not as a memorial.
Yes. Giving them their flowers while they can smell them.
Yeah.
It's truly, it was and still is an honor to have been a part of that story. And from what I hear, it's like a cult classic amongst us.
Well, yes. Well, we don't mind. But it's because it's that ingrained. Gospel is that ingrained in our culture, and the Clark sisters are a part of the gospel legacy almost of everybody's household at some point or another, whether it's when you're growing up, whether it's in college, whether it's because somebody remixed it, whether it's because you heard somebody else sing it, somewhere along the way, you're gonna hear some Clark sisters, whether you know it or not.
That's right. Right. Yeah.
So for you now, with it being so, it's not really that long ago, but for it to be so pivotal at that moment, for you now, what's next for Angela Birchett? And is there a role now that whether it's in on Broadway or just singing back when you were at Toshi, but just singing, like what do you see as kind of a marker to say, you know what, I really want to do that?
Well, it's kind of still along the same lines of that multi-prong thing that I was speaking about earlier. I have such like huge goals and vision for it, for those things. In theater, I definitely, I haven't seen anything that's tickled my fancy enough to say, oh, that's a role that I would love to be. However, there are a couple of projects that are coming up next year that I'm really excited about.
Wonderful. And
I want to see where those go, and how I will be able to go with them because I do so many other things. But I'm also kind of shifting gears a little bit here in the last year or so of really getting my live music and getting the studio going. I mean, there is such, not just a demand on myself from myself, but literally people are like, Ange, like, we need what you have inside of you on a record. So can you stop playing around and do it? So,
get off the stage and get in the studio.
Get in the studio and stop messing around. And it's become kind of like this secret thing that like I think about all the time, really, but it's hard when you do so many things. It's, you're a songwriter and you're a recording artist. That you have to be purposeful. You can't just, I'm gonna just throw something down. You have to really purpose your time and your mind and your spirit to hear from God, to hear from, whoever you believe in, to really say what you want to say. And that it is not microwave. That takes time.
Yes.
But I'm being more intentional with my time to be able to do that, and working with some great writers and my sisters who are also amazing songwriters and producers and arrangers and engineers and all that stuff. Yeah. To really, now that I feel like because I've that Angela that was tucked down in there, she's here, she's out, and she's got a pixie cut. She has some things to say. Like she's always had things to say, but now she knows what to say. Like I know what I'm
comfortable saying them.
Yes, I don't feel I've given myself permission to say them.
Yeah.
And I just want to keep growing those prongs and be open to whatever opportunities God sends my way.
Well, I'm so excited to see what that is. I can only imagine not coming from Broadway and not playing roles and not having to kind of study other, other genres and all of that. I am so interested to hear what Angela Birchett releases as herself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's gonna be groundbreaking. Yeah, so I'm super fan. And for those of you who don't know, Angela was so gracious to bless me. She is the voice singing with me on the theme song to this show called "Don't Wait." Angela came into the studio with me and laid it down, and I was forever blessed by that. You should just know that. Yeah. So is everybody else, because I hear it all the time now.
It was my pleasure. It was.
Well, Angela, I'm so thrilled for you. Number one, just your personal journey. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We talked about the Clark sisters and how they touch so many people, and you're doing the same thing. Through your journey and people seeing you and you being so authentic with your story and how you're going from day to day and encouraging people with health and just being themselves with your company. It's just incredible. So yeah, so I am so looking forward to hearing about it. You have to come back once you start doing some new music or something. Listen.
Yes, maybe a little listening sampler or something.
Absolutely. We don't mind a good old listening sample here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me, as we close, I do want to ask you, just to go out, where do you find, I guess, the strength and the courage to keep moving forward with everything that you're doing?
I think it's because of the true joy it brings me to feel like for the most part, fully realized woman, and the joy that brings, and how happy doing my art makes me. That's what keeps me going in the moments when, why is this not happening fast enough? Or why did I have to wait this long for this to happen? But there's so much that came with that time or with that wait period that when the great things do happen, it makes all of that make sense. And I love that. I love the energy behind that. I don't think I could ever be just somebody that just has a mundane life that just, isn't doing what they love. They're doing what they have to do, and I get that, we're not all afforded the opportunities to be able to do that or do it in the way that we want to. But, I have been, and I don't take it for granted. So I find joy and I find lessons and I find moments in all of it. None of it is a throwaway. All of it is usable.
None of it is a throwaway. Angela, Ange. So wonderful seeing you. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Always good to see you. I'm so glad to see your face.
Oh, thank you. Ditto. And your pixie cut.
Listen, I'm telling you, if I had $1 for every time somebody stops me and says, I'm gonna see if you say it. Has anybody ever told you look like?
Who is it, Halle Berry?
Nope.
Who?
Debbie Allen.
Oh, now that you say that.
I get it all the time. I'll take Halle Berry. But oh my God, since I cut my hair, I guess
now that you say it out loud, I can see people saying that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I went into an audition once with her, and before I opened my mouth to start, she was like, "Oh, I got a niece that looked just like you. You must be Ken somewhere." I said, "Well, that's fine."
I'll take it.
Listen.
Yeah. Well, Ange, thank you.
You're so welcome.
If you haven't been inspired today, I don't know what you've been doing. But listen, one of the things that I'm taking away from this is there will be struggles, there will be trials, but it all prepares you, if you let it, for the doors that are going to open. Sometimes things may be hard, but you're going somewhere. Sometimes things may be a little bit uncomfortable, but they're leading to something. Hold on, stay in the process. Don't grow weary in your well-doing. And in due season, come on, church, Thank you to Angela Birchett for sharing her inspiring story, her authentic journey. Just remember that you are the best you in the world. We'll see you next time here on The Phillip Show.
Don't wait.